Today we'll be counting down our list of the top 10 best Western movies of all time. The Wild Frontier. Outlaws and lawmen, train robberies and shootouts at high noon. When you think of the Westerns, these are just some of the iconic images that come rushing to our minds. Westerns have cemented their place in pop culture for over a century, transporting us to the wild American West, whether modern or otherwise. These films capture the time's rugged individualism and frontier spirit with their sweeping landscapes, passionate drama, and larger-than-life characters. And their cool outfits, of course. From classics like The Searchers and High Noon to modern reinventions like No Country for Old Men, Westerns continue to captivate and entertain us. So, get ready to saddle up and ride along as we count down the top 10 best Westerns of all time. From John Wayne to Clint Eastwood, we'll look at some of the gunslingers, outlaws, marshals, and mavericks that make this genre so monumentally timeless. Number 10. My Darling Clementine, 1946. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the 1946 classic My Darling Clementine, directed by the legendary John Ford. Starring Henry Fonda as Wyatt Earp, this film took the Western genre to new heights by portraying Earp not just as a rugged hero, but as a complex and thoughtful lawman seeking justice. Unlike simplistic good guy cowboys of the past, Fonda brought a degree of realism and depth to the protagonist's role. With its stunning Monument Valley backdrops, thrilling shootouts, and a script that elevated the Western beyond the realms of basic escapist entertainment, My Darling Clementine established many of the genre tropes we know today. From the morally gray drifter hero to the nuanced approaches to law and order on the frontier, this film introduced a level of sophistication that changed Westerns forever. For these reasons and more, My Darling Clementine deserves its place as a pioneering force in Western cinema. Number 9. Hell or High Water, 2016. Coming in at number 9 is the contemporary neo-Western thriller Hell or High Water, released in 2016. Directed by David Mackenzie, this film brilliantly transports the Western format into the 21st century. With Chris Pine and Ben Foster as two brothers carrying out a string of bold bank robberies, and Jeff Bridges as the grizzled Texas Ranger on their tail, Hell or High Water harkens back to the thrilling cat-and-mouse chases we loved from classic Western flicks. However, with its slower pacing, greater focus on character development, and the socioeconomic climate of recession-era America, the movie feels like a wholly original and relevant reimagining. Backed by piercing dialogue and masterful performances, along with the austere beauty of the West Texas plains, Hell or High Water fuses pulse-pounding excitement with artistic talent. A modern classic, this film is proof that the Western still has a place in contemporary cinema. Number 8. High Noon, 1952. Riding in at number 8 is the legendary 1952 film High Noon. Directed by Fred Zinnemann, High Noon stars Gary Cooper as Will Kane, a marshal who must face a gang of deadly outlaws alone when they return to town seeking revenge. With its iconic music, tense real-time storyline, and a career-defining performance from Cooper, High Noon transformed the traditional shoot-'em-up into an allegorical tale of individualism versus conformity. Nominated for 7 Academy Awards, the film won 4, including Best Actor for Cooper's stoic portrayal of Kane's moral duty against impossible odds. With its unwavering suspense and timeless message about standing up for justice against all odds, Zinnemann's classic deserves its place in the pantheon of iconic Westerns. Number 7. McCabe and Mrs. Miller, 1971. Coming in at number 7 is the gritty McCabe and Mrs. Miller. Directed by Robert Altman, this revisionist film aimed to subvert the romanticized myth of the American West. It stars Warren Beatty as the bumbling gambler John McCabe, who arrives in a mining town and partners with a savvy madame played by Julie Christie to open a brothel. Shot through a blurred, cloudy lens and backed by Leonard Cohen's mournful soundtrack, McCabe and Mrs. Miller departs from the sharpshooting heroes and sweeping vistas of Hollywood westerns. Instead, it offers a realistic portrayal of makeshift frontier life, with its unfortunate hustlers, drunken debauchery, and ultimate corruption by powerful corporate interests. Number 6. Stagecoach, 1939. Rolling in at number 6 is the trailblazing 1939 film Stagecoach. Directed by the legendary John Ford and starring an up-and-coming John Wayne, Stagecoach is considered a proto-western that paved the way for the entire genre. The movie features an eclectic mix of characters thrown together on a dangerous journey, including an outlaw, a drunken doctor, and a whiskey salesman. Despite its apparent simplicity, Stagecoach wowed audiences with its sweeping Monument Valley vistas, revolutionary tracking shots, and complex study of social and moral roles on the American frontier. More than 80 years later, Stagecoach remains a masterclass in character, drama, and technical bravado in a Western, proving the genre's artistic potential right from its earliest days. Number 5. True Grit, 2010. At number 5 is the 2010 remake of True Grit, starring Jeff Bridges. Directed by the Coen brothers, this adaptation of the 1969 John Wayne classic demonstrates that sometimes remakes can surpass their predecessors. Bridges makes the role of Rooster Cogburn his own by bringing more depth to the foul-tempered U.S. Marshal helping a young girl find her father's killer. While paying homage to the original film, the Coens amplify the characters and drama, aided by a breakout performance from Haley Steinfeld as the precocious Maddie Ross. By retaining the spirit of the original while still feeling like a fresh, relevant Western for the 21st century, this is the rare remake that smashes the original and deserves to be called the definitive True Grit. Number 4. The Searchers, 1956. Galloping in at number 4 is the iconic 1956 Western, The Searchers, directed by John Ford and starring John Wayne in one of his finest roles. Considered by many critics as the greatest Western ever made, The Searchers encapsulates everything that makes the genre so amazing. Visually, it's a masterpiece, with Ford capturing the awe-inspiring beauty and danger of the Old West, especially the rocky vistas of Monument Valley. Thematically, it's far more complex than a basic good versus evil shoot-'em-up. Wayne's character, Ethan Edwards, harbors racist hatred towards Native Americans, yet the movie never portrays the indigenous people in a negative light. The film challenges Western stereotypes by portraying settlers as cowards and natives as victims of Manifest Destiny's violence. Influencing generations of filmmakers like Scorsese and Lucas, The Searchers deconstructs America's mythologized history through its painful themes and pioneering style. Number 3. Rio Bravo, 1959. Saddling up at number 3 is the 1959 classic Rio Bravo. Directed by Howard Hawks and starring John Wayne in one of his most charming roles, Rio Bravo is considered one of the most influential and entertaining Westerns ever made. Wayne plays Sheriff John T. Chance, who enlists a drunkard deputy, a young gunfighter, and a flirtatious, feisty woman to help defend his jail against a wealthy rancher's hired guns. Filled with colorful characters, witty banter, and a fun hangout vibe as we watch this motley crew bond, Rio Bravo is a gem of a film. With its combination of suspense, romance, and lighthearted humor, Rio Bravo celebrates courage, justice, and above all, friendship. Number 2. The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, 1948. We're nearing our number 1 spot. But before we get there, no list of the best Westerns out there would be worth its salt without mentioning 1948's The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Directed by John Huston and starring Humphrey Bogart, this psychological Western adventure follows 2 drifters who join a prospector seeking gold in the treacherous Sierra Madre Mountains. Filmed on location in Mexico with authentic cultural details, the film depicts the characters' harrowing journey as greed and paranoia turn them against each other. At its core, Sierra Madre is a haunting study of human nature and morality, exploring how the temptation of wealth can corrupt men's souls. Bogart delivers a career-best performance as the volatile Fred C. Dobbs, eliciting both sympathy and revulsion. The movie's innovative on-location filming and complex characters influenced generations of filmmakers, proving Huston's artistic daring. Even further, the Sierra Madre name itself has become synonymous with tales of greed, with some other media, including the video game Fallout, New Vegas, featuring it as a placeholder for the corrupting influence of avarice. Number 1. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966. Claiming the top spot in our countdown is the undisputed number 1 Western of all time, Sergio Leone's 1966 masterpiece, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The final film in Leone's iconic Dollars trilogy cemented Clint Eastwood as the quintessential cowboy, with his poncho, cigar, and devastating scowl. Set during the Civil War, it follows 3 gunslingers racing to find a cache of buried gold. Filled with over-the-top violence, sweeping vistas, and Ennio Morricone's legendary score, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly encapsulates everything that makes Westerns legendary. From its iconic 3-way standoff to Eli Wallach's charismatic bandit Tuco, the film is brimming with unforgettable moments that left an undeniable impact on pop culture. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is the Western against which all contenders are measured, and Sergio Leone's crowning achievement that tops our list as the number 1 Western of all time. Do you agree with our list? Let us know your picks in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching another Film Chive video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay tuned.